if only 4 to 6% actually take the Toyota Tacoma off-road, then why mod it? I'll give you 6 reasons right now. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So I was thinking, you know, statistically, if only 4 to 6% of Toyota Tacoma owners actually take it off-road, then why do we mod it? I said I'd give you 6 reasons. We're going to get into it right now. Number 1, it looks better. You know, the Tacoma as is, stock, is a perfectly fine looking truck. But it screams to be modded. It screams to be lifted for bigger wheels, bigger tires. I don't care what you do with it. It just looks so much better if you actually go ahead and mod it and add something to it. Improve it a little bit. Make it look a little bit better. And modding it with a lift and wheels and tires absolutely does that. Number 2, it's more capable. More capable in rain and storms and bad weather and all that kind of stuff. It just performs better if you get into a situation where maybe you've got a lot of deep snow. You don't want your truck to start to ride on top of that, then you lose traction and you get stuck. How do I know that? I've done it. It's happened to me. Years ago, I had a pre-runner. It had a locker in it. And I really think this is what happened. The snow was too deep. It actually lifted the truck up a little bit, and the wheels just spun. No matter what I did, I could not get that thing out. I ended up having to push the snow away from the tires with my foot while I was dressed up in dress clothes for work. Let me tell you, that did not make me happy, and it's what led to me getting rid of that truck to begin with. Secondly, high rain, or high water rather, caused by rain as it were. You know, when water gets high, and down here where I am in South Texas, we get some heavy, heavy rain. I mean, when it starts raining sometimes, it's torrential, and the water can rise quickly. Flooding is prone down here, and it's nice to have that peace of mind to get it up in the air a bit to keep you out of the water, particularly if you're driving in an area that you're not familiar with, and you might encounter something that's deeper than you really should be going through on a stock level truck. Definitely helps in that situation. Number 3, it's worth more money. Used and during a private party sale. You know, I've mentioned before about modding trucks and trying to trade them at dealerships, and they're not worth any more than what a stock truck would be. Matter of fact, depending on what you do with the truck, it could actually detract from the value. Because you see, dealerships, they're trying to sell to the masses, to the generic public. And the generic public is not necessarily looking for those mods that you might have put on the truck. They may not want a lifted truck. They may not want to crawl up into it all the time. They may not like that louder exhaust that you put on, or that color scheme that you decided to add with all those awesome accents that you love. But selling it privately is different. You see, there's always a group of people out there that are looking for modded trucks. They don't want to have to screw around with lifting them themselves, paying out the extra money, the time that it takes. Maybe they can't get time off the job to go screw around at a shop trying to pick up their truck. Those are the folks that you want if you're trying to sell a modded truck, particularly if it's heavily modded. A lot of them are willing to pay more. You just have to find the right person. Number 4, it's a hobby. It's something to do. You know, that's part of it for me. There are many reasons that I mod trucks, but it is kind of a hobby too, as far as something else to do that I enjoy. Nothing like the satisfaction that you get from changing the truck, customizing it, making it the way that you want it to be. It's a fun thing to do. It depends. You don't have to spend a ton of money on it either, and you can do it at your own leisure, depending on what it is that you're doing. Obviously, if you're skilled enough to do a lift and it's your daily driver, well, you can't get it half done and then just leave it sit. That can be a bit pressing, and I suppose that's probably a little more than a hobby, because it's going to hurt the wallet if you can't make it into work or have to burn vacation and sick time to get that thing back and ready to roll again. But nonetheless, it is a lot of fun to do. I enjoy it, and I know there's a lot of people out there that do as well. Number 5, appearance. Manliness. You know, there's nothing more manly, or maybe womanly, than driving a modded out, lifted louder truck. It adds a bit of status too. You know, I don't care if you agree or not, it does. There's always a little bit more oomph you feel when you see a great big giant lifted truck going down the road. It just looks tougher, stronger, meaner. Now, that's if it's done right. Obviously, if you lift your truck 36 inches and it's riding around on stilts, that's a whole different category. That's somebody who's really in to just experimenting and getting that truck as high as they can. I'm just talking about your normal 3-inch, 2-inch, whatever it is, with bigger wheels and tires. It just gives a tougher, more aggressive look to it. And it kind of raises your status a little bit within the modding community. Because if you're into modding and you hang around with all the modders, you know they're going to give you grief if you're driving in a stock truck while they're all sitting around with these nice modded, lifted new wheels and tires. It's just an appearance thing. It's a status thing. Number 6, the last one, keeping up with your buddies. You know, again, it's kind of a status and appearance thing too, but if you hang out with a bunch of guys that have lifted trucks and stuff, it brings out the bravado a little bit. You know, my truck is tougher than your truck because it's half an inch tire, or higher rather, and I've got tires on it that are an inch bigger than yours and maybe 2 inches wider. You know how it goes, right? Bunch of guys sitting around giving each other grief because your truck's not quite as manly as my truck. Heck, it can come down to things even like color. You know, drive into one of those meets or something in a pink Toyota Tacoma. See how well that's received. That's an extreme, and I think I may have only ever seen one in my entire life. But it is going to give you attention, and I can tell you, you're going to get a lot of grief from your buddies if you do that. Maybe not the strangers, but you know your buddies are going to give you a lot of grief if you pull up in a pink Toyota Tacoma. Do you disagree? I don't know. Anyway, those are just 6 reasons why if only 4 to 6% of Toyota Tacoma owners actually take their trucks off-road, mod them. Let me know, have I left anything out? Is there any other reason that you can think of why people mod their trucks that never take them off-road? I mean, only 4 to 6%? That's not very many given the volume of Toyota Tacomas that Toyota sells. I'd be curious to know what you think. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive MT, all about mini trucks. Currently, the 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz, and RobMotive JT, all about the manly Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.